Mira Business FM, Dubai's home of business radio.
Good afternoon and welcome to Midday Majlis with Sahar Mushtaq on Mira Business FM, where conversations connect and ideas come alive right at midday. And before we dive into today's discussion, don't forget that you can catch Midday Majlis live on streaming live on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and of course Telegram. Our podcast is also available on all your favorite platforms. Right now, it feels like every business is rushing to use AI, whether it's for marketing, sales, customer service, or content. But as more things become automated, many people are starting to feel that something is missing, which is the human connection. And today, my guest here believes that in a world full of automation and digital noise, businesses that focus on real relationships, trust, and human expertise could actually have a big advantage. Joining me now is Ben Healy, the director of DMND. Ben previously built and exited his own health business and now works with companies to help them grow by focusing on something very simple, putting people first in business again. We're so happy to have you with us, Ben. Welcome to Midday Majlis.
Great, thank you, Sahar. That's a very nice introduction as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ben, let's start with something interesting. Right now, everyone seems to be racing to adopt AI. Everyone is using AI, and that's in all businesses that we see this happening. But you're saying there might be actually an advantage in not relying on it too much. So how does that really work?
Yeah, so first and foremost, AI is a great thing. It's been around for a long time. It's come to the forefront of everything that we see and hear now, in business, in life, and it's a great tool. But what's happened, and especially in business, which is what I found and where we had a lot of success, is people are really missing authentic experiences. So with the rise of social media over the last 10 years, and then now with AI, we've got a world that is more connected than ever, but as humans, we've never been more disconnected. So the relationships where you meet people, you connect with people, and you build trust by sitting and having conversations like we are right now, and doing that live, you can really prove your expertise, your authenticity, because it's quite easy to not necessarily fake it, but craft it and polish it and over-manufacture it.
Right. You're right about that. The connection is sort of missing between us as well now because, like when we used to look up to our parents for advices, and now we just type it into ChatGPT and try and get the answers or advices. That's pretty much not normal, right?
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. There's lots and lots of research, especially with my background in healthcare, where lots of people are using the AI, LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, for sort of therapy and advice and life advice. People are using it for health advice, where it's great. It can give you all the facts that are out there. The issue is it hasn't got any experience to lean on for applying that knowledge. So, there've been cases out there where people have used things to use those models to get some advice, whether it's mental health, physical health. It's come back with loads and loads of information, and it sort of, when you use it, it tries to build its own sort of narrative. But there's such a massive importance in healthcare, especially with human connection. It's very therapeutic. But also the experience and the application of seeing hundreds and thousands of these cases where they don't always present exactly in the same way, where a one-size-fits-all model just from taking the information from a scrape of a web search can actually potentially be quite damaging. So, like you said, we usually would ask our parents or we'd ask somebody, a figure of authority, whether that's a doctor or advisor.
Because they do speak from their experience, but then ChatGPT or these AI bots are just talking from whatever information that they have saved from different platforms. Right?
100%. Yeah, 100%. So, and there's a real skill in taking the knowledge from and the experience from a previous case or a previous experience you've had and being able to apply that to something in real life. So again, things like teaching and education businesses, a lot of people are thinking, AI might be something that can replace teaching. Um, I think that they're probably pretty safe. We work with quite a few education companies where a lot of the skill is, it's not, you might have heard the phrase, it's not just about turning the screw, it's about knowing which screw to turn. And applying your experience and your knowledge from other situations and experiences you've had is almost the moat for humans against AI, where AI's got infinite knowledge, but humans have that wisdom to be able to apply it.
Right. Well, that was a great example. And now, moving on, I would like to ask you that you run a business yourself. You're the director of DMND, and you actually help other businesses grow as well without being completely relying on AI. Isn't it a bit of a challenge?
It's interesting at the minute, and I think where it helps us is because everybody's been trying AI, and everyone's been scrambling for the newest AI model that can replace all of 90% of their daily tasks and 90% of their payroll, especially in the marketing side. So, our organization is a demand generation, business development, marketing agency. People are trying to replace their humans with AI. And a lot of the people that have tried it have found that actually the results maybe not what they expected or what they were promised. And almost looking back to, okay, well, actually, what is it we're trying to do? So the whole point of marketing is to stand out, become known, let the people that you want to know that you exist know you exist. But if you're doing the exact same thing as everybody else, and with AI, a lot of the content looks the same.
It's repetitive.
It's repetitive. It's like an echo chamber. So same principle. It's got all of the same information that it pulls its responses from. Now, everybody almost looks the same when you search and you look at the content, and 9 out of the 10 of them are exactly the same thing, just with a different profile and maybe slightly different wording. You're not standing out. Where huge opportunity is where people aren't doing the things that everybody else is doing, you're going to be the one that actually, if you can capture that and find the thing that's missing, which in the modern world now is the human connection and the trust. There's a lot of people out there talking about it, but there's a massive trust gap. There's a huge issue where, because there's so much noise and nobody knows what's AI generated online, what's not AI generated, there's not many original opinions online because it's easy to just type in, I need a
But
post
isn't
for
it
this.
now easy to kind of know what is AI generated?
It's very difficult, especially with the advancements in the video type platforms.
Okay.
They are becoming incredibly good at creating videos that look ultra realistic, where you have to have quite an expert trained eye to understand that they're not. With the sort of the static posts, if you think about LinkedIn, there are slight different signs that you can tell where it's AI. But I think with the more and more that is AI out there, everyone's just going to assume that it is AI. And you have all of your own experiences on, you've seen AI content and how it makes you feel if you can see instantly, oh, that's AI. I know for me, if my first experience of a business or an organization or a person is, this is AI generated, it's not very good, it's not very well polished, it's not brilliantly in detail or anything like that, it doesn't add much to me. To me, my first impression there is, well, that's a little bit lazy, that's a little bit sloppy. And if the first impression that a potential customer has of your business is lazy and sloppy, they're automatically, subconsciously primed that, well, actually, yeah, if you're doing that and that's my first impression, then everything you do.
And the
how do
first
I know it's
impression
not
really counts.
massive?
Yeah.
It's massive, which is where our philosophy of lead with human expertise, lead with connection and trust. You can build really strong relationships from day one. And if you give people genuinely valuable knowledge and skills and tools in the first experience you have with them, you've automatically captured their trust, where they don't trust anyone else anyway. You're already ahead. And by the time that you've educated them on a problem and you've shown that you know how to overcome the problem that they have, they are almost begging to work with you. It's what we saw when I was running the occupational health business. There was a massive challenge in the UK with sickness absence. a lot of HR managers, HR professionals didn't have any idea what to do with some quite tricky cases. I used to just run events to teach people exactly what they can do and exactly how to overcome it. And by the time I'd finished the session, they either decided that they'll have a go themselves, or actually, no, you know what, Ben, we trust you, we believe you, we think you're better at doing and getting this result than us. Can you come and do it? And then asked us to work with them. And it got us some contracts with companies we had no right to be working with. Huge organizations. We're
That's
a very
interesting.
small business. And they came to us. So it's one of them where you can build the demand, you can build that, the trust and the connection. And if you can just build that belief in somebody that you're the person that's going to answer their problems, you're so far ahead of everyone else who's just relying on AI to create huge volumes of content, be seen by everybody, but not necessarily massively trusted.
Right. Well, it is very much interesting to hear the story because nowadays everyone is about AI. So if these people who are working with you wanting to progress in their businesses without the AI approach, then I think this is different. We probably don't have too many of those, do we?
Yeah, I think from what I've seen, there's always been events companies. There will always be people that run events and host events, but a lot of the research out there says that actually a lot of companies are going to be spending a lot more of their marketing budget on experiences, and activations is the term. So getting in front of people, meeting people live, connecting with people.
Makes all the more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's essentially where people aren't doing things, there's a huge opportunity to stand out. And where we know with human nature that there's a whole load of research that says humans are quite lonely. There's not a lot of connection. We don't spend much time speaking with other people. There's research out there that shows that actually all of us have a lot less close friends than possibly our parents or older generations had, because they were forced to interact. Whereas now it's so easy to just speak to your friend. It's great because you can catch up with friends, for us guys, all over the world. But the
It
connection is
wasn't a
different.
thing in the past.
It wasn't a thing in the
They have
past.
to write letters and wait in queues to telephone their families and friends, right? So it was
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, and even with that, I suppose there's a bigger barrier to actually even interacting with people. It's more meaningful, the connection,
Yes.
because I don't know how many of us now would spend 20 minutes waiting in line for a phone to speak to a friend.
We don't have that kind of patience anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's
So the
the thing.
whole behavior has changed overall of the people in the community, the way they kind of like interact with others, they bond within their families as well. And as you said, we used to function without AI back in the days. So it shouldn't be that difficult to go back to our normal selves.
No, and I think this is the interesting thing, where if you look back through history, and for me, fascinated in business and sort of psychology and the social side of it, and you see these sort of patterns all the time, these massive changes, these massive disruptions in business, where the most recent one was probably the .com, when the internet came out. All of a sudden, email marketing is a thing. People can send emails, so we don't have to write letters, we don't have to pick up the phone, we don't have to go and speak to someone.
Right.
Now we've got, we had social media, so you could post things on social media, and then all of a sudden, social media is flooded. The emails were flooded. Everything, there's so much noise. And now with AI, it's just made both of those so much easier to do. But because they're easy to do, the volume's up here, it's much more difficult to stand out because there's 100,000 people doing the exact same thing, messaging the exact same person with the exact same message. Whereas if everybody's doing this, we know that humans want and need connection. It's part of our biochemistry. We need to speak to people. Lots of people are turning back to, actually, I'm spending all my life online. The person that everybody speaks to the most each day is their AI chatbot, ChatGPT. I've got people that make jokes and say, "Oh yeah, it's my best friend," whereas that's not fulfilling the human need and the all the neurochemicals like oxytocin, serotonin. It's giving us false dopamine, and it's really affecting the human brain.
It is indeed.
So the opportunity that's there, and there's a lot of people saying this, is going back to analog. there's going to be a big shift where everybody kind of gets fed up of, "Oh, I've seen this before," or some of the AI stuff out there. It makes your skin crawl. It's like, it's AI. I don't want to see that. Where I think there will be a big shift because there's been such a massive loss of connection that we're all craving it and we all love it and we all want it. And there's huge brands that are running more and more activations, experiences, and it's AI is something that's there as a tool for us to use and humans to use to make our lives easier. But I think it can't replace the humanity of a human.
Yeah, that's irreplaceable for sure. You're right about that. And now going back to the marketing, you were actually telling us a bit about it. Of course, AI has completely changed the way marketing works now in present time. So what shifts are you seeing right now in the way businesses are trying to win clients and build trust on their own?
Yeah, so trust is one of the biggest things that closes a sale. So the whole way through from when somebody finds you, they learn about you, and then they buy from you, trust and connection is huge, which is why there's been a massive rise in things like influencer marketing for brands, because you inherit, you borrow the trust and the credibility and the connection of that individual. What we're seeing is actually with so we work a lot with consulting companies, anybody who's sort of expert-led, they sell knowledge. Their customers can be online and they're going to be searching a whole lot more than they used to around who is the best person to achieve the result that I need to achieve. There's a lot less trust in consumers anyway, and there's some amazing graphics out there that show actually how much people research and how many times you have to connect with them before they feel like you're the person that they want to buy from. It's about 7 to 10 touch points. They have to have seen you and had a positive experience from you for 7 to 10 trust points. Now, what we've been seeing with running live events, especially educational events, webinar systems, is that with those 7 to 10 touch points, it might be 5 seconds to 2 minutes of scrolling on the phone or a video, where you can take that 7 to 10 touch points, put it all into 1 hour, where if you're running an event, an educational event, people are sat there, they're engaged with you for the whole hour. You're teaching them something that they really want to know around something that is really painful for them in their business, how to overcome it. You're giving them an opportunity to ask you questions, but also they see in real time how you think, how you behave, how you act. If you do any live demos
there is a lot of opportunity to connect.
Huge. It's massive. And the thing is with the live experiences, you can't forge them.
True.
There's anything that's recorded. Video is great. It's a huge trust builder. But I've even seen rumblings of people that get a little bit sick of the podcasts that are very manufactured to make the people look like, experts and angels, where potentially they're not, but they've got
And nowadays there are so many experts out there.
100%.
Yeah.
It's easy to look like an expert now, because, research has been made so easy.
True.
And you can sit in a room and you can re-record something 20 times and you can get a really good editor to make you look absolutely fascinating. But if they were put in the room and asked questions live, you have no idea how they'll behave and they would act. So the live component is the biggest trust builder, I think, the biggest bridge from that trust gap. If someone can see how you operate, how you think, how you perform, there's one of two things going to happen. They're going to think, this person's great, I love how they work, I love how they act, I like them. Or they're going to go, actually, I don't like that person, I'm not going to work with them. And that's fine, because those people would have been bad clients for you anyway. The people that do connect with you and like how you operate are probably going to be a lot better customers. You're going to have an instant relationship. And what we saw is, actually, we never lost a customer in my health business.
Right.
Because we connected so deeply to start with. The relationship was already built. It was a lot harder for them to go and trust somebody else more than us, even if they came with a cheaper offer. So the belief was built, the connection was built, and I think that's where, I spoke earlier about the moat for humans, but I think the moat for humans against AI in business and marketing and sales is going to be the trust and the human connection and the relationship you build. So business development, I think, will be a role that's going to stay and only become more important, where you've got people at events, you've got people building relationships, you've got people running live experiences. That's the thing that the huge opportunity and the huge gap to differentiate yourself from AI, where some businesses will go all in on AI and they'll do amazingly well because they'll be experts at that. Some people will go all in on human-led live experiences like what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on either end of the spectrum, you'll win. If you're anywhere in the middle, that's where you're just in the middle of all the noise. You're not differentiated, you're not standing out, and that's where the people on either end
And I
will
see a
drop.
lot of people being in the middle right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think AI is complex.
It is.
There's loads of ways you can put it into your business, and it can do amazing things. But it's hard to figure it out. It's all brand new. So either you have to pay a lot of money for a transformation expert or an implementation expert to come and put AI-ify your business, or if you're somebody who just actually you like the human connection, you're good at that. You're good at the old school, the traditional type of business. You don't need to necessarily worry about it, especially from a sales and marketing side of things. Go full analog, go massively quality over quantity, and build stronger, deeper, fewer connections. They're probably going to be worth more. They're probably going to stay with you longer. And those are sort of the ways that the enterprise contracts come through anyway. I don't know anybody who really has got enterprise contracts from sending 20 cold emails to a huge global organization, where actually most of the time it's through connections, partnerships, referrals. And for us, the huge organizations we work with, Ministry of Defense, the NBA, Basketball League in America, companies we had no right to be working with, who approached us to work with us because they knew us, they saw what we did, they believed us, they trusted us, and they wanted us to attack the problem that they had.
Right. And so it is prioritizing the quality over quantity. That is so true when it comes to this. And you were just talking about the emails, right? So do you think that the shift is actually also changing with regards to that? Do you think the way AI has taken, so for example, now I see like a lot of emails are being generated by AI as well. So what is it that is exactly happening?
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's because there's all of these softwares and AI implemented softwares in chatbots, even AI emails, email platforms. It's taking all of the time and effort and personalization away from the first interaction you have with somebody. And I think it's kind of that same equation of the way you win with that is if you want to address as many people as you can at once, as fast as you can, and just try to get a conversation or get a response. You can do really well from that, and I know people that are doing really well from that, from flooding the market, emailing every single person in existence that they could potentially work with, and hope that they get one email reply back from 10,000 emails. It can work. It's not the way that I would want to do it. It probably makes your sales harder, but you can reach a lot of people in a quick time. But I don't know, you'll get emails all the time, and you look through them, and as soon as if it's someone I don't know, I'm probably not going to give it much time. It's usually an instant delete. If the headline is, okay, this is actually something that's important or interesting to me, I might open it. If I open it and the first line is clearly a sales email or AI generated, well, you can usually tell because the structure of all of the emails is the same, because what people would do is ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, write me a high-performing sales email, and that's based on blogs and posts and content that email marketers have put out there, but the structure is always the same. So you start to learn the pattern of, this is an AI, this is an AI, this is an AI. Whereas emails can be great if you personalize, if you spend a little bit of time doing a little bit of research on the person, if you can figure out exactly what it is that you can help them with, that they need help with.
And it will only help them target the right kind of audience or the
Absolutely.
customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, with my team and the guys that I have working with me, I say to them, look, we've got these amount of numbers of people that we want to try and speak to and start conversations with. But if you're slightly below that because you're prioritizing the quality of the conversation, the quality of the messaging, because you spend an extra couple of minutes researching the person, understanding what they're about, what they talk about, what their expertise is, and specifically where we think we could help them, we get much higher response rates. And I'm much happier if I get 10 sales calls in the week that are people that are absolutely the right fit for us, who we know we can help to grow their business. And we're on the sales call and we're going to be singing from the same hymn sheet, rather than 30, 40, 50 sales calls where it's just people that have taken the call because they may be interested in what we do, but not really. And out of those, you might get 4 or 5 serious people. So I would much rather prioritize the quality and the connection over that quantity of
exactly. Yeah, makes
spray
sense.
and pray.
Right. And then where can businesses that stay more human and more personal actually beat competitors that rely heavily on AI?
But this one goes straight back to the trust thing. So if you're staying human-led, expert-led, if you're genuine and expert in what you do and you get results for your customers, you are undeniably somebody that they should be working with. And I think a lot of business and a lot of sales is being confident that you are the person that can help your customers with the thing they need help with. And I guess the thing is, if you're confident enough to get up on a stage in front of people, in front of your target audience, and you believe in yourself and your product and your service so much that you will stand there in front of hundreds of people and talk about it and share exactly what they can do, give them everything they need to know to solve that problem themselves, then you are, in their minds, you are definitely an expert. Because if you didn't have the expertise, if you were faking it and you were just making content, you would be so nervous to go up on that stage. Some people do. Some people just have an amazing amount of confidence. They get up and they talk about something, they wing it. But again, getting up in front of people live, it builds that perception in people's mind that actually you're confident enough in yourself and your service that you'll get up in front of us and you'll talk about it. It must work. Whereas somebody who's running content, relying on things for the expertise that they maybe don't have, they're never going to be able to get up in front of people and talk about it with conviction and with personality and with confidence and build that belief in their people, in their audience. So that's where people can win. If you are a genuine expert, I would say go deep on quality, live experiences, share everything you know, everything in your brain. Don't be worried that people are going to take that and just do it themselves, because one of 3 things happens always. Either people just think, this is too big a problem. What you've told makes sense, but I don't know how to do that. Can you do it for us?
Actually, I would be very scared of getting my idea stolen. So
it's a very common thing, common thing. And when I first started doing this, I was the same. But you have those 3 things that happen where people, because if you are a genuine expert, it's a real big problem. It takes a lot of time to overcome the problem. And there's a system and there's a set way to do things, and you've built that over the years and you know exactly how to do it. So, for example, for you, if you were to get up on a live webinar and teach people how to become a radio presenter, radio host, you give them all of your years of expertise and knowledge in the hour-long session, and then those people after that session have everything that you know and you think, and everything that you could share to educate them, but they're not going to be you. And they're never going to do it as well as you, because it's that application that we spoke about and the expertise and calling back on those experiences that you've had, where they have all of the same education and knowledge and training that you've given them, but they won't be able to do it as well as you, not for 5 or 10 years. So you've got the people that will go and try and do it themselves. They'll go and try. They'll realize that this isn't easy.
The practice makes the man perfect. So
Exactly.
a lot of time has to be invested into doing something.
Absolutely. And when you think about a business context, time is money.
It is.
If you can take somebody, you've got 2 options. You can learn this thing and do it yourself, spend loads of money and time to try and do it yourself and have something ready in 2 years, or you've got somebody who's there, who's an expert, who you trust and who you know has results, who can just do it for you now. The money you save and the time that you save by getting that result sooner massively outweighs the cost of paying somebody to do it, which is what we see. So, often when we run live events all the time about how to run live events and how to run them properly, because lots of people will run webinars in their business and then they'll say, webinar was useless, didn't get anything from it. But I take them through the whole system of what we do. What was your topic? Was your topic something that your audience genuinely care about, or was it just something you're interested in? Two big different distinctions. Did you warm your audience? Did you invite enough people? Did you send attendance emails? Did you get as many people as you can on there? How was the structure of your event? Did you build the belief? Did you give them ways to signal more intent? Did you give them a signal to work with you? Did you follow up afterwards? No. Oh, so that's why it didn't work. So people will go and try it themselves and figure out, actually, this isn't easy. And then they'll come and work with you after they've figured out that, actually, we'll just get them to do it. So you've got the first people that will just use you straight away. Second, people that will go away, try and do it, realize they're not good, come back and work with you. And you've got the third type of person that just won't ever try, won't really be bothered, and it's kind of just procrastination for them to join you on your event and learn a little bit about you. And then actually, either way, if they don't work with you, doesn't matter, because they've still had a positive experience with you. You've still got that brand connection with them, and they might know somebody who eventually they refer to you, which has happened before as well. So
there is always an opportunity.
There's always an opportunity.
Yeah.
And what I say a lot is there's never a downside to being more known and more trusted. And that's all these things do. The worst case scenario is you've gone online, even if 2 people show up, you've got 2 people that are probably quite interested in what you're talking about. But you're already more known and more trusted by
And
those.
maybe these 2 people in the room are better than having a room full of 20 who are
100%.
probably not going to be of any use.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, and if you think about impressions on social media posts, people are paying thousands, hundreds of thousands for social media posts to get 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 impressions. But I know somebody who makes YouTube videos for a specific group of people around a specific problem, gets a couple of thousand views per video, and makes £5 million a year. So he's gone all in on, I would rather have 200 perfect people in the room that care about what I have to talk about, have the problem that I solve, rather than 100,000 people who don't really have that much of an interest.
And it's only because the organic approach does not exist anymore, right? People want to do it in a fast way, trying to buy those likes and those comments. And those are coming in from people who have nothing to do with your business.
Yeah, it's the vanity metrics, aren't they? It's you feel good about yourself if you get a post
Pretty
that goes
useless.
viral.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know a lot of social media agency owners, and they going viral is great for your awareness and potentially getting people that might want to know you that didn't know you in your ecosystem now they know about you. But it's very rare that much business comes from it. Whereas if you're just posting real high quality, educational or entertaining content that brings people towards you, draws people to you, creates that connection and builds the belief and the trust, even if that's 500 people that view your post, I'd much rather have those 500 than 100,000 people that just don't care.
So it's again, quality over quantity, right? And now, which sectors do you see affected more by the trust issue?
It's definitely the knowledge-based organization. So if you're selling expertise, expert-led services, I would say really. We work a lot with law firms. So employment law in the UK at the moment, the Employment Rights Bill is changing massively, more than I think it ever has. And that creates a lot of confusion and worry in the people, business owners and the HR managers that it affects, because everything that they'd known about their employment contracts or how they legally have to treat their employees is changing massively. And when there's changes and when there's confusion and when there's questions, that brings a huge opportunity for we do with demand, and employment law firms who are running educational sessions around these are the important changes to the employment rights bill that's going to affect your business. If you can give all of those people that are a little bit scared and confused and worried about what the changes are, if you can just help settle their nerves by giving them all the information they need to know, it's kind of like, okay, guys, look, we know this stuff's changing. These are the answers to all the questions you're asking us. You don't need to worry. We can handle it. If anything comes and you need a lawyer, we can handle it for you because they've built that connection and the trust. So anything that is a genuine, deep level of knowledge and expertise that needs to be implemented.
Right.
So, it's like I said earlier, the AI models can give you all the knowledge and information in the world, but being able to apply them in the right way is
the real challenge.
That's the huge challenge, and that's the huge value, which, the genuine experts that can implement all of those things, especially when there's so many consequences of not doing it right, for example, with the employment law rights. If you go and try and do that on your own and you get it wrong, the consequences are huge. There's a huge tribunal, there's a massive case, you have to pay them off, tens of thousands of pounds, reputational damages, recruitment problems.
So there's a lot of money that we're losing there.
Absolutely. So, if you try to do it yourself by using the AI, sometimes you can do it, but when it's high stakes, it's a case of you always need to use the expert. And that's where it won't replace that implementation there. So, consulting firms, agencies even, marketing agencies, professional services, people that are selling knowledge and selling systems and implementation, they're the ones that can really stand out from this and use the live experiences to bridge that trust gap.
Right. Well, it has been a great chat with you, Ben, but before we close, looking ahead, where do you see all this going?
Great question. And it's a really interesting one because I know there's quite a lot of technology anxiety in the world, in the general population, where people are worried that AI are going to take their jobs and where do we go from here and are the robots going to take over? It's a really fascinating question because no one really knows. But I think where I'm very confident in humans and humanity is that where all of this goes so far away from the genuine connections that as humans we know biologically we need, anybody who can fulfill that purpose of connecting with people and providing the relationships and connections that we crave innately, I think that is so safe that's never going to be disrupted. Whether that's a therapeutic benefit of seeing a doctor face to face or getting a manual treatment, whether that's in business and building relationships and not just speaking to an AI chatbot, anything that can build on those connections and relationships that innately as humans we need, you're not going to be replaced.
Right. So it's really hard. And you don't see this change happening, right?
No, I don't see that there's much of a way with how everything looks right now. Things change so quickly and things are built so quickly, but I think the authentic experiences and the genuine...
The thought is very interesting, but then again, reality is reality. And I think we have to be real. We have to connect. We have to
100%.
bond. We have to give in that touch because human touch is more than the AI touch.
Absolutely.
And makes all the more difference.
Absolutely. And I see a lot of things going back to being more physical rather than digital.
Right. Thank you so much, Ben, for those interesting insights. It's a reminder that even in a high-tech world, human connection still matters in business and in our lives. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, and to you all as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And now on Mirror Business FM, we have Luxury Breaks, the ultimate podcast for luxury car fans. Join Tim Elliott and Yeshik Ziomak as they take you under the hood of the latest hypercars and iconic brands every Friday. Do not miss it. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to Mirror Business FM. I'll be back with more engaging conversations later on. This is Midday Majlis on Mirror Business FM.
Mira Business FM, where business comes to talk.